all meet at a certain time and throw the sticks in the middle of it.
And I think, the kids might miss it, but, the parents, you hear that more from them. Gee, what am I gonna do now? There's no hockey, you know?
Come coach,
Yeah.
volunteer.
Yeah. And our board, many on our board, don't even have kids playing hockey. I think that's one thing what people appreciate about Nickel District League, is most of the people aren't involved with teams or associations as much anymore. Whereas, it was always just the same people being involved. Like, our board, a lot of them are uninvolved people. They're just hanging around because they like to be involved with hockey, and they just want to volunteer.
No hidden motives.
Yeah. So it's, you still have to have representation, into your decisions, and we do. But for a lot of it, it's. And our board never changed last year. Nobody ran for election against anybody.
Who votes for the board? Is it all the member teams? Do they all have a?
Yeah.
So it's.
And you come to our meeting at the end of the year, and the nominations are closed pretty quick. It's. People are generally pretty happy with how the league operates. We had a lot of parent concerns with the changes last year, going to this division structure. Younger parents, younger age, with younger kids, I don't think they quite understand that Nickel District League is not the governing body. I don't even think they understand who it is. They don't know where the NOHA fits in.
Yeah,
Our league championship, tournament and championship, with the NOHA, they don't understand the difference. I get a lot of people asking me questions, well, why are you doing this? Well, my answer is, I'm not doing this. This is NOHA. This is Hockey Canada. So people don't even appreciate, or not appreciate, they don't understand the differences,
Yeah, well, I thought that Nickel District League basically was a governing body for the league that we played in. I almost thought that it was right there with the NOHA in terms of setting the rules and guidelines and everything.
We have a lot of rules that are different than Hockey Canada, NOHA, mostly for suspensions, discipline, that type of thing. We try and monitor and encourage, coaches to control themselves and all this kind of stuff. But for the most part, your rules are there, the rules are written, and we just expand on them a little bit. We run, the league has rules, there's stipulations, there's certain things that do happen. But for the most part, it's just to keep things running smoothly.
Do all of the areas covered by the NOHA and Hockey Canada, I guess they all have an organization like the Nickel District Hockey League to run the league or to facilitate play?
Well, I don't.
Well, you're basically covering.
We're big geographical area under necessity has come together. The Greater Toronto Hockey League, it has its boundaries and then would have its own arrangements similar to us, I guess. But they might have AAA leagues, AA leagues, A leagues, divisional structure.
So the NOH, the Hockey Canada really doesn't govern where you play.
No, there's rules. There's boundary rules for movement. Where you're going to play, and where do you go if you don't have a team, and all that kind of stuff.
But they don't put in place the Nickel District Hockey League.
No.
So if the Nickel District Hockey League didn't exist, if all of a sudden all of the board decided they were all going to resign and leave, something would have to take its place in order for you to have a league that would comply with the NOHA requirements.
There'd have to be a lot of common interests getting together at a table and saying this is what we're going to do to play. And
so another Nickel District Hockey League would form.
That's right.
So are you a specific entity? Are you a corporation, or is it just an idea?
We're actually an association within the NOHA. We have a vote in the NOHA meetings as well. We're an association, but we carry on as a league. As I said, we facilitate teams playing. We're the organization and scheduling and that sort of thing. Okay. There are some rules you have to follow to be there, but for the most part, it's discipline type issues.
So the NOHA doesn't govern what you do? The individual associations have to.
Yeah, I'd have to say it's more governed by the associations because they're members and they vote on certain things that we bring up to the table as changes we're going to make, accepted, not accepted. The NOHA, do they say how we have to run?
What would be?
Not particularly. We're probably coordinated effort somewhat.
If a team decided to play suspended players, and the Nickel District Hockey League knew about it, the NOHA doesn't come after the Nickel District Hockey League, they come after the
Team itself.
individual team, because
Yeah.
it's the team that's registered.
It's the rules that are there. You know, those rules, they have rules for dealing with that type of issue. You know, we pass off those things to the NOHA for discipline.
They like the eyes.
We can put together a discipline committee for any item that comes up objectionable to the league, so to say.
Like you say, at that point, it's not the board of directors that's doing it, it's the member associations that have agreed to give you the authority to do it.
We have, you know, within our constitution, we have the powers to deal with any matter we have to deal with.
Right.
And that's, you know, for example, if you have a coach that's totally, you know, how he handles his team, if somebody says this guy's an animal on the bench or whatever, well, we'll go out, our conveners will watch and we'll witness things, that sort of thing, and we'll bring it to the attention of the executive and then bring this guy in and talk to him. To keep the league running on a smoother basis, to keep, you know, friendship in the game, that sort of thing. We have a team management pledge, you know, you're supposed to be dedicated to play the game in the way it's supposed to be played and all this sort of thing. Now, that being said, the NOHA has stipulations and rules, and they could discipline anybody they want, but we can as well. Like I said, we do have extra rules within our league that we can do.
Right.
Can impose, yeah.
So, what's anything new coming up this year? Any special initiatives or?
No, you know what, at this point, you'd asked me what the goals might be of our executive at this point of the league, and you know what, growth is important. You know, I'd like to see hockey grow. You know, as a person that's been around for a lot of years, it hasn't grown a lot at the rep level, so you know, I think to some extent we want growth. We want competition to be fair. You know, we want teams to play against similar teams. You know, we don't want lopsided scores. I mean, we get the way we've structured it now. You know, last year's playoffs, I think ultimately almost every game was a 1 or 2 goal game in the final, except for maybe one real strong team in one division. But you know, they're evenly matched at the point of being competitive at the end of the year. So that's a goal, and I think probably the concern that's going to come to the table this year is the midget situation. I don't know what we can do to encourage teams at that level.
It's that 14 to 18-year-old group.
Yeah.
In all sports, I think.
It's an issue. You know, I think we were down to 6 teams last year, and one was that elite team, which was so much more superb than everybody else. They needed a place to play. They developed. They went to tournaments. You know, but the other teams, you know, when you're down to 5 other teams, the competition isn't really there for them. And when you have 10 teams, it's much better. And I don't know what's going on in that age group, for sure, you know. So.
Anything we missed about the Nickel District? Your website is pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, we've changed it. We've got one fellow trying to work on it to give more information to parents. Mostly it's parents looking there, although, you know, our league's been contacted from people all over the place. I mean, they pick up on things we do. You know, they see contact names, that sort of thing. But yeah, we've got a pretty good guy running our site right now, and it says a lot. And there's a lot of hits. If you look at the hits, there's a lot of parents reading about it.
Well, like I said, it's got an awful lot of information that is available on just about everything that you want to know. And I think you even have online registrations.
Not so
That's
much.
some kind of
The forms and stuff is there. The information's there. I mean, you know, as a coach and manager, we've tried to provide everything there. We're trying to still work on a manager's package that sort of hits on everything we need. But yeah, we tried to cover it off. You know, our former president was around for 30 years. Things evolved quite a bit. Ray was so organized and so dedicated to the game and to the league. He kept things going a lot of times out of his back pocket. He had to do all the work. We've tried to break that down into having more people involved and having people help. And so I think it's evolved a little bit that we have you know, a bigger board and people doing some jobs.
It's not quite as a culture shock when that key person leaves.
Well, and that's the thing,
Succession planning.
he may have been ready to retire a few years ago, but it's like, Ray, we need you, and, like, we have to get
Yeah.
you have to get us through this, and, it's, yeah, I think we're a pretty organized bunch. Things have worked out pretty well,
Good. Well, John, that probably just about covers it. Thank you for taking the time. I mean, the Nickel District Hockey League, as you say, it facilitates the competition, it facilitates the playing of hockey. I think hockey is going to go through a period of growth much the same as it has probably several other times during the last decade. It's just where we're going to emerge at the end, I'm not sure, but I think this whole issue around player safety and player development and coaches development and encouraging people when they hit high school to stay involved in sport, at some level, at some, just for all of the good things that they can get from it, besides competing, this developing respect for your body, staying healthy, and then giving back. Getting into, okay, when you're out of hockey now, you're no longer playing midgets. Are you coming back to referee? Are you coming back to help out with the coaching? Or, if they leave at a young age, you won't see that many people.
They won't see the need to do it. It's, when I first got involved with hockey, that's a long time ago, but I called up the playground. That's because that was my background was. I said, do you need some help? They said, no, we need a coach. And all of a sudden you're involved in hockey. My kids, I hope that they would keep playing the game and that they would volunteer and get involved with hockey, because that's when they really enjoy it. I have one guy that does. The other one, he doesn't play hockey anymore. He does other things, but that's because he has other hobbies.
Right.
But you know what? When I hear about kids that I know that are helping coach a team or just facilitate registration and volunteer to help, that makes me feel good that people are still involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a we have to create a climate where people want to be around and enjoy it, and hopefully we can.
Yeah. Well, making sure that the people on the board at the Nickel District Hockey League are getting more involved in their own different areas means that you are going to have more room for volunteers to come in too. Because one of the difficult things with a lot of old associations, a lot of, I shouldn't say old, but mature boards, is that sometimes there's not room for new people to come in.
Yeah.
And when new people come in, there's so many other people who have their own ways and things are set that it's hard to facilitate change.
You know what? New people coming in the last few years have new ideas. We see it. We've moved with it. I mentioned the Sioux applying to our league. They've tried to promote involvement in the non-AAA levels for elite teams and to draw from the Sioux, North Bay, Sudbury, Nickel City to play in a division. We've tried to look at that. It hasn't come together yet. The timing's wrong right now. I think it just hasn't going to happen this year. It might happen in one age group. But the people coming in and doing the legwork. One fellow went up. He talked to the people in the Sioux. He's the guy that's driving, trying to make these things happen. It's somebody new to the board, and he's working hard at it. It hasn't come together yet, and maybe it'll be next year. But new ideas go a long way.
Right, so at least there's a will to listen.
Yeah, and like I say, you have to have new ideas. I mentioned that our board didn't change, but with people that have changed the last few years, there's a lot of new ideas come in, a lot of ambitious people that want to make things work, which is nice. They come in from other areas, Southern Ontario. You move in from Southern Ontario and you see 12 associations in Sudbury, and you can't cross borders. That's crazy, And then they see how hard it is for your kid to go and play on a team somewhere. Well, now Nickel City's taken the bull by the horns and made some changes, in the number of associations, and so good. New people, new ideas, things change. For the good, I hope.
Yeah.
But I appreciate being asked. I don't know if it's any help to anybody, but you know what? You don't get a lot of parents come to meetings, so it's they may not understand the Nickel District League either.
Yeah, and at least one of the things that I told you before we started, I'm hoping that at least if somebody is interested in finding out a little bit more, and they've got an hour or so to spare, then nobody can say that there's no place to at least listen to somebody
Yeah,
explain what the association.
I think I appreciate what you're trying to do on the local hockey scene with communication, and you know, in the last number of interviews you've done, it's I think people can become informed. You know, if they do a little bit of legwork and look for things, they can become informed, and that's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's been relaxed. We've taken as much time as we needed, and I think we've covered everything. So, Joe, again, thanks for coming in, and good luck with the Nickel District Hockey League. This year, you've got Nickel City Hockey Association that's in a transition year. It should be exciting just from that, as far as goals and objectives. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough to make this
I mean,
function.
there'll be some good things and bad things come out of that. I mean, I don't mean bad in a bad way. It's there'll be
Challenges.
Challenges, yeah. It's I think Gus is going to have his work cut out for him, but I tell you, he's got a good crew working. They're working hard.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to during the year, you know, getting together the odd time with you and Gus and Dennis Michelle. He's president of Southern Minor.
Yeah.
And is it Ken Greasy?
Ken Greasy, yeah.
With Copperbuff. You know, from time to time we'll get together and, hey, just have a panel discussion and discuss issues that seem to be coming up that are common, and, hey, it's communication.
Yeah.
You can never have enough.
Yeah. No.
So thanks a lot, Joe, and we will be back in a couple of minutes to close out.